Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. Today is our very last pantry challenge collaboration between me and Kim and Sandy and Edie. Today is just a wrap up of how the pantry challenge went. What did we think about it? What did we learn? What did we do? What would we do different? Things like that. This is, I don't know, the fourth year, I think, maybe, that I've done it. So I kind of have it down to a science, I think. And to be honest with you, you guys know I pretty much cook everything from scratch. So it's really not a stretch for me. Like, oh, I ran out of mayonnaise, I have to make it. Well, I make mayonnaise all the time. I never buy it. Oh, we ran out of bread, I guess I have to make it. I make bread all the time. I can't tell you the last time I bought bread. Yes, I can. Thanksgiving. Because I like cheap white bread for my stuffing. I know. It's once a year. It's what I do. But anyway. So I don't feel the pantry challenge is a huge stretch for me. We ran out of butter on the last day, and I was all ready to, at least I thought we ran out of butter on the last day. And I had some heavy cream. I was all ready to just make up some butter. And then I found like a half a stick in the fridge, and that was all I needed for dinner. So it worked out. But I think for me, the pantry challenge isn't that big of a deal. Yes, I can. And yes, I preserve, but I don't do so much of it that, I don't have hundreds and hundreds of jars of food on the shelf, except for broth, which I do, because we use that like crazy. But we try to only grow what we know we're going to be able to eat, and a little bit extra to gift to family and friends. So I don't feel that we have excesses of a lot of things. I don't go out and buy, a case of ketchup at a time or things like that. Yes, I have a well-stocked pantry, but I don't feel like I'm excessive. Now, when you guys all saw my pantry, maybe you think I am excessive. I think it just depends on what you're used to. But I think as far as the pantry challenge went, I think I did well. But I started off with a very stocked meat freezer. So we really never, I never had to kind of use the cuts I didn't want to use or things like that. I was pretty much able to still make really good meals. I'm trying to think what else I can, it was nice to know that, God forbid, if something ever happened, a job loss or something, that yes, my pantry is stocked enough to at least go a month. I can go a whole nother month. I am out of milk. I ran completely out of milk on the last day. Like I said, I was out of butter. I'm trying to think what else. I ran out of all-purpose flour. Well, no, that's not true. I have just probably about 4 pounds of all-purpose flour left. And, so I would have to start, and I did. I milled a lot of my own this month, knowing I only had limited amounts of all-purpose flour. Sugar, we really didn't even come close to running out of, because we were all kind of on a very low sugar January. I have not been baking desserts or anything like that, except when I needed to. I just wasn't making stuff to have. When it was pinochle night or whatever, and I had to provide a dessert, I did that. But we've all been trying to cut back on the sugar. So, I didn't use a whole lot of baking products, and I take a break from the bakery in January too. So, I feel that it was pretty easy. Having a stocked pantry and meal planning. I've been meal planning for a million years. I feel that I was able to use what I had in creative ways, in good ways. It wasn't like we were eating just hamburger every night or things like that. And you know, I had the stock to make, you know, more fun dishes and things like that. Like, you know, in December, you know, we got our normal cheese from Azure, which is a 5-pound block. So I knew I was probably going to be fine in January for cheese. I didn't do any stocking up in December to plan for the pantry challenge, because to me, that's not what it's all about. Like, I wanted to use what I had. But I did do my regular shopping and my regular Azure order and things like that in December. So, you know, I did have a 5-pound block of cheese. Now, we had no mozzarella cheese. I ran out of that like the second week of January. So like one of the nights I made pizza, oh, we just didn't have mozzarella on the pizza. I made a barbecue chicken pizza and we had cheddar on it. So, you know, just like little things like that I was able to swap out. You know, for us, we have eggs in our backyard, so we were good on that, even though the girls they're starting to pick up a little bit now, but it was pretty bad. You know, out of all those chickens, I was getting 3 eggs a day for, you know, a month and a half. So I feel like we've set ourselves up pretty well. And did I see any like big holes? Dairy, but you know, I think that's pretty much for anyone because you can only store dairy for a certain amount of time. Now, I will say, you know, when we can get to Pennsylvania and get raw milk, that is what we prefer, but it is not very often. And we do have a source now that delivers to New Jersey, because raw milk is illegal in New Jersey, but it is what we prefer. We do have a source that delivers to New Jersey. I just honestly can't fit it in my grocery budget right now because it is kind of pricey. But I buy organic milk from either BJ's or Costco. And the great thing is, like, it lasts for months unopened. My sister-in-law was at, where was she? BJ's the other day and texted me and said, hey, do you need milk? I said, actually, I do. I said, pantry challenge is over. We need milk. And she said, the date is April 2nd. That's one of the things about organic milk. It lasts a long time. Now, you know, once you open it, like if I open one today, it's not going to last till April 2nd. But in a sealed container, it does. So yes, I can stock up on dairy. And we go through a lot of milk in this house. So I generally do stock up on dairy when I can. The same thing like with our sour cream. I buy a probiotic sour cream. And it literally lasts for 6 months or more past the best by date. There is zero difference because it is fermented and it's probiotic. And it tastes exactly like sour cream. Like there's no difference in the taste. It is absolutely delicious. The same thing, I buy the fermented cream cheese sometimes. Not all the time. It's not Andrew's favorite. But, you know, I can stock up on dairy things. And I do try to be a little bit ahead on that kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm not a doomsday prepper, but you always think in the back of your mind, what if something happens? And, you know, last year something did happen. Something big happened to us, you know, with Doug's cancer. And it was nice knowing that I didn't have to run to the grocery store during all that. And I was able to, you know, still provide great meals for my family. So I definitely think there is value in having a well-stocked pantry. And I definitely think there's value in eating down your pantry because you don't want to be a food hoarder. You don't want to have all this food and not use it because it's a waste of money. It's a waste of resources. So there's definitely value in all of that. So let me quickly show you now my freezers and my shelf. I don't think you're not going to see a huge difference. Yes, the meat went down a lot. The meat went down a lot. So you will see a difference there. But at one point in the month, my chicken broth shelf had like 2 jars on it, but now it's completely full again because, you know, I'm totally blessed. I get gifted chicken backs a lot, and that is what I use to make my broth. So I'm able to, you know, turn those chicken backs, those free chicken backs into broth and can them up, and my shelf is full again because we go through a lot of broth in this house. You know, as far as like the rest of this, we still have a ton of vegetables canned and in the freezer. We still have a lot of frozen fruit. So it's not going to look a whole lot different. It's really not. We are not struggling. We're not. And I don't really know if the point of the pantry challenge is to struggle. I don't believe it is. I don't believe it's like, okay, well, you know, you have to struggle now. With a well-stocked pantry, we did not struggle. But like I said, I am glad, like, my flour buckets are empty. I have 2 5-gallon buckets that I keep all-purpose flour in. They are empty. And I like that because what was happening was I would have a bucket with a quarter full of flour. I would just dump the new on top of that. So that flour on the bottom was getting old, and flour does not last forever. It does go bad. So it was nice being able to use all that, to empty that all out and start from scratch and know that I don't have flour in there going bad. So enough chatting. Let me show you the freezers and the shelves, and then we'll come back and wrap this up. So here is how the freezer fared. I still have 6 chicken breasts left, 1 whole chicken, 2 pounds of ground beef. So here is how the freezer fared. We still have 6 chicken breasts left, which I was surprised about. 1 whole chicken, no ground beef, 1 pack of beef cubes, 7 steaks, 2 ribeye steaks. Okay, we're gonna start with the refrigerator freezer. We've used a good amount of blueberries and raspberries out of here. I still have this big bag of frozen strawberries, and I still have some cranberries. So I'm going to make some more of the winter jam, the Christmas jam, just so those cranberries don't go bad and I can get that on the shelf. The fridge is pretty empty. You know, it's usually filled with milk, and we're out of milk. I have 1 thing of heavy cream, which I thought was going to have to get turned into butter, but I think we're going to make it. I'm filming this 2 days before the end of the month, so, or 2 days before this video is due. We have a thing of pepperoni and a good amount of cheese left, some leftover sun-dried tomatoes, still some nuts in there. So that's good. The apples down there need to be made into applesauce because they are getting soft. So that's pretty empty. As far as our chest freezer, oh, my sister-in-law gave me a rotisserie chicken carcass. And all this is chicken backs. I can't pull it out because they're frozen. Chicken backs from Jason to make broth. We definitely are down on our frozen vegetables. I have the 3 bins stacked on top of each other, and we've definitely used a lot of those, which is nice. As far as the pantry shelves, this one's a lot more full because I have been making broth like a crazy woman. I've used a decent amount of applesauce, used a decent amount of jelly, but we just had so much. Canned goods are definitely going down. Used a lot of tomatoes and a lot of tuna. As far as baking stuff, on this shelf, we're completely out of cornstarch. I have a little bit of arrowroot powder left. Baking soda is getting very low. Did great with our grains. AP flour, not so much. I mean, you can see I can pick this up with like 1 hand. There's probably about 2 pounds maybe left in there. Our sugar, all that, we were good on that. Yeah, our sugar still feels pretty good. I did not do a lot of bakery stuff this month. January, I pretty much take off from the bakery, so that's why we didn't go through a lot of that. But honestly, does not look like it went down much, but I know we have used a lot. So let's take a look at the big freezer. Here is our inventory. I have 6 chicken breasts left, 1 whole chicken, no ground beef, 1 thing of beef cubes, 7 steaks. You can see here. So I feel like we really have used a lot of our meat. I do have a lot of sausage left, and I have a lot of pork left. Decent amount of fish. Not a whole lot of bacon, and not a whole lot of like foods that we froze, but not too bad. Still have one frozen milk, so we're not completely out of milk yet. This was getting close to the date, so I tossed it in the freezer. So I feel like, you know, we really were able to eat down a lot of stuff. Still haven't dealt with those tomatoes yet, but eventually. It's a February problem. So that's it. There you have it. It is what it is. I feel, you know, I was 100% transparent with you guys through this whole thing. We did not buy anything except what I showed you. I showed you the receipts. So we saved a lot of money. We squirreled that money away. We have some expenses coming up this year, so it'll be nice to have that little bit of extra money out of the grocery budget. And we're still talking about putting it towards a half a cow, but I just, you know, I wanted to say that yes, we did save a lot of money this month, a lot of money. I think my total spent, I don't even remember now. I'll have to go back and look, but it was under $100. So I am absolutely thrilled about that. The rest of the money that I had in my grocery budget was transferred into another fund, and yeah, it was a good pantry challenge. I am going to continue a little bit into February, but I'm going to be a little bit more lenient. We can't go without milk, and we don't have a cow in the backyard. So I told you I did buy, my sister-in-law did pick up milk for me. I did buy milk. I don't really know what else we're going to need. I am going to do my Azure order because number one, I'm an Azure affiliate, so I feel like I need to do my Azure order. Number two, you only get to do that once a month, and I don't want to go another month without an Azure order. My Azure order is very small for February, and I will show you that. It should be in next week, so I will show you that. But and it's pretty much dairy. It's more cheese and sour cream and cream cheese and peanuts. I'm gonna try making my own peanut butter. So I got some peanuts, and yeah, so we're gonna continue through February, but like I said, we're not gonna be quite as strict with, you know, what we're gonna buy. I think we're gonna go to Costco this weekend because I am out of flour, and I do have a couple bakery orders for February and some sourdough orders, and I haven't quite mastered sourdough with the fresh milled flour yet. It's getting there, it's getting better. And also some people don't want that. They want white flour sourdough. So I do have to get flour, and I don't really know what, I know that's the big thing we're going to Costco for is flour. So you'll see that haul too. I'm transparent. Whatever we buy, I show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging with me and Kim and Edie and Sandy through this pantry challenge. And once again, if you haven't subscribed, I would love you to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, and if you know somebody who could benefit from my videos, I would love you to share them. So thanks again, guys, and I will see you in my next video.